It's been a deeply inwards reflective time with some heightened sensitivity. For some people that will manifest as, being really emotional, feeling like you're on the brink, feeling overwhelmed, feeling out of sorts. For other people, it might be some moments of short-temperedness or just feeling on edge. There's a feeling of restlessness. It really depends on the person, how you're coping and what's going on around you as well, where you're at on your journey and energetically yourself. But that feeling of general restlessness is really in contrast in a way to the previous eclipse energies that I've been talking about in my last several videos, where there is a lot more heightened intensity of emotion or sensitivity in that way. But there was more than a sense of insomnia, restless nights, and then these sort of really awakened moments, whether that's spiritually aligned and awakened, or more in the sense of you're awake, you're alert, you can't sleep like you've drunken too much coffee. There was also a mixture of exhaustion and tiredness. But you probably will have felt this last week, a sense of feeling a bit more tired and like you can never get enough sleep, or when you wake up you don't feel rested, you're not ready for your day, just a feeling of being drained and out of sorts in that way. And of course everybody's different, but that's one of the patterns that's been happening. And with that also can come feelings of feeling a bit sad, miserable, depressed. And it's different though. It's not as marked as other times when you have felt that way, because a mixture of the energies and that feeling of sort of wishy-washiness, and also there's a feeling of being in transition. Because it's like the angels are showing me now, it's like when you've been traveling a lot and you've been going from airport to airport, plane to plane, and now you're in the holding bay. You're in one of those longer transit periods where you're stuck in some foreign airport and they're saying, it's like not the nicest one either. It's some kind of small, stinky, stuffed up one, filled with people, and you feel like you can't breathe and you can't escape, and time feels prolonged. And that is overly emphasized or amplified with the COVID thing. I mean, there's a whole thing you could almost call COVID energy in the whole collective psyche of the world with this whole COVID phenomenon. And, which really people are at their sort of point of no return. It's like, I can't handle this much longer, but then you keep going and you keep being stretched. So there's a feeling of being overstretched. You've gone past your tolerance points, but at the same time, you could still be calm and coping in a weird way or some kind of combination. You'll know what it is for you. But there's definitely the feeling that we've been just like a series of flights that has gone on too long, and it's one too many stopovers, right? One too many transit points. We're finding ourselves now at this waiting bay, and we don't see the end in sight, and the plane is delayed in a way, or we don't know which plane we're next going to hop on, where that plane is going, or if even we can get back ever. And when we do come back, like after a big holiday or even a work trip overseas, or a big several years overseas somewhere, and when you return home it's not the same. So there's this feeling in advance of, are things going to be the same? I don't think they are. And what the hell reality am I in right now? Because everything feels weird and different. So you will have had at various times this year so far felt like, I'm suddenly in this other reality, or what reality are we in? That was first introduced when this whole COVID thing started, but now it's sort of reached another level. And so there's a little bit of a feeling of feeling lost, out of sorts, in no man's land. that can also exacerbate a feeling of neediness or feeling alone, perhaps some codependency, or the opposite of that, of individuation to the point of possible extremities. And you might have actually just felt like that anyway, just from the whole notion of isolation that we're all suffering from. In this in-between phase, you could feel a bit bothered, tired, moody, and so on in a different sort of way. And there's just that exaggerated feeling of uncertainty that's sort of in the backdrop. And so you feel too that sense, which you would have felt several times already during this whole COVID thing, but it's just been bringing up that feeling again of that feeling, I haven't moved far. I haven't completed all the things I wanted to complete. What's happening with work, money, life, kids, family, all that stuff being questioned and everything feeling questionable. And you're really hovering somewhere between clear and foggy. It's more foggy than clear, but I feel that the clarity is coming through the next portal series, which will be in early August. So I'll update you in my next videos about that, the upcoming Lionsgate of early August, which is another gateway, hence called Lionsgate. Isn't it interesting? And just while I'm on that topic now, I did mention in earlier videos, not too far back, about the feeling of a gate coming up, and it wasn't just the eclipse gate portal as a cosmic terminology, but also the feeling that it meant something like Watergate, like a new gate happening. So with that, a couple of things. One of my viewers linked that up to Bill Gates with the name there, and I absolutely agree. I will go flat out and tell you I'm always very candid with my feelings, and I have not liked from the beginning anything to do with that person. So because of YouTube censorship, I'll just say it this way. I cannot always say certain words. So the first name is Bill, as you know, and the second name is Gates, okay? And of course the wife. And they have a foundation together. And I absolutely do not feel any good vibes at all from this person, these two people, and everything they represent, and the companies or associations and the people they associate with. And I really do feel there's a hidden agenda, and it does not feel like it is truly for the benefit of humanity, but rather the opposite. You can do your own research, and when you research these things, guys, okay, let's say you want to research, can I trust this Bill person, right? And everything he wants to bring forth, supposedly for humanity, supposedly being a philanthropist, philanthropic, and but really question it. So, for example, it is a fact that he is a eugenicist, and it runs in the family. And you can look this up for yourself. What does that mean? That means, that is aligned with the mentality of depopulating Earth. Okay, so the whole agenda with that liquid stuff that I'm not going to say the word because it's unfortunately the V word is censored on YouTube. Okay, but the liquid stuff that is put into your arm. So that idea of that product, it's all about money. Okay, all about money. So that is definitely an aspect when it comes to that word gate. I'll just leave it at that. But the one thing I just was starting to say is when you research this kind of thing, look deeper, because you're going to, if you just Google something like that, like, is this person to be trusted? What about those V things? You're going to come up with all the agenda articles, which are the controlled media narrative of people who question the V things, even if they're just questioning it or the safety of them and making sure that they've been tested properly, are all idiots and crazy people. And that, this person is a massive philanthropist who cares about the world. Does he really? Because you will find a quote by him. You can hear it. You can hear him say it. Don't remember when it's from, not too far back, maybe a year ago, maybe longer. I don't recall. I heard it ages ago now anyway, but So, linking up the V things that you inject into your arm with a version of depopulating Earth. And that's what he's for. So he will say it himself. So no, do not trust this person. Anyway, beyond that, there's also been an actual new gate, as in Watergate type gate. Okay. And that's to do with and again, I won't say the word. So it's to do with a furniture shop that's online, popular in America. And the first word is way, and the second part of that company's name is fair. And whether it is true or not, because this has only just come up about a week ago, okay, but it's been all linked in with child trafficking. You can look it up for yourself. Whether it's true, not true, doesn't matter. People are hashtagging this thing as a gate. Okay, so they're calling it way. The second word was fair, and the last word is gate as a hashtag. So I found that to be really interesting. Now, this could very well be something that is absolutely happening, but even if it isn't, that is exactly the kind of thing, unfortunately, that happens in this world where children are advertised online through hidden means as, for purchasing. It is just, I've talked about this in my recent videos. I won't be talking about this all the time, so I know that it's not a subject that is enjoyable in any way, shape or form. However, it is important and needs to be addressed. And the reason why it was coming up for me energetically in recent times is because I just felt it. I felt like not only is this something that I know about, that I've researched deeply over many, many years, but also I felt like this is what's coming up. And it has been time and time again. This has been coming up, this whole issue. So now we are starting to feel like we're on our way towards coming back into alignment, but we don't feel like we're there yet. So there is, like I keep saying, this in-between phase, right? And, it's where are we? Where are we going? Where do we belong? What's happening? The whole state of the world with the COVID thing is just absolutely amplifying that feeling as well. So just hang in there. It will get better and you will get that clarity coming. It feels like early this week it's time to realign yourself in the way of prayer. So I decided to pull out a few oracle cards, and it's really funny, but out of a few that I pulled out just for early this week, 3 of the cards from 2 different packs were prayer cards. One says prayer, another one says pray, and another one says something else, but it has a person praying on it. So it's definitely the feeling of this is what is needed right now. So whatever that means to you, your version of prayer, it's not only prayer for yourself, your family, your situation, but the world. I would add both. I'm definitely feeling an overemphasis on the world aspect too, okay? The world needs the light right now, and so we're to anchor that in ourselves, muster up all the energy you have, and put your intention out there for yourself, your family, your work or life purpose, projects, whatever it is that you're preparing to step into, or there's not been working out for you, and to realign yourself, but also very much for the globe. So the prayer is really aligned with sacredness and whatever you feel that means for you, lighting a candle, setting up a sacred space, even if it's just a moment, a minute of your day is all it sometimes takes. So while the world is foggy, you are turning on your own light, lighting your own candle of faith that will glow as a beacon of light in the fog. So for this week, really fine-tune yourself and think, okay, what have I been learning? Where have my emotions been taking myself? And just have a look where you have been feeling out of balance and where the scale is too heavy in one direction. And so what direction is that? It might be one particularly heavy thing or several. And there's a saying that's quite apt, and this is what comes to my mind now, is reach for the higher hanging fruits on the tree, the fruits where the sun has been glowing and photosynthesizing on those fruits, the prime, beautiful, ready to pick fruits on the tree rather than the low bearing fruits. Okay, that's really the message for right now, as well as recognizing that it might be a slow moving period and to look after your stress. So a bit of energy and stress management is important. Realigning yourself, because you're going to be entering a whole new period in August where it's about your strength and power and resolve. And the general consensus of feeling that I'm feeling is that we're not quite ready for it yet. So it's very much a preparation time. There's still a long voyage ahead. You might have felt that you've been suffering in silence, or that you've been very much sailing your own ship. But do know that amongst all the rocky edges of the cliffs, there is a new sun in the dawn of the horizon and a more fertile time ahead. So start to bear those fruits now and think about, okay, let me just wipe my slate clean and, let that air out of my balloon, which might feel like it's softly deflating, slowly, not so quickly, right? And take a breath of fresh air, go out for walks, and then work on realigning yourself and thinking of refreshing your goals, or what are your new goals. And to list those, write those down, light a candle in your sense of sacred self, linked in with the higher realms, and acknowledging it's okay, everything's all right, it's just an in-between time, and I'm about to step into a whole new sphere of fresh beginnings, and so just to nurture yourself in the meantime and keep yourself protected. Okay, so just a reminder, if you haven't already, to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and there's currently a tele summit that's on for a whole month's period. So you will find information about that in my emails, so make sure you join my email list, and I'll be doing a talk on the subject of the meaning of seeing the number 1111. And so my actual talk is due on July 31st, so that would be in American time, and the whole summit is on until August the 6th, where my friend, the author Charles Wolfe, who is the author of the 1111 Code, The Great Awakening by the Numbers, you would have heard me talk about him before. He's also doing a talk on that day too, which is awesome. So make sure you join up and listen to all the different interesting speakers on spiritual topics. Let me just add, because sometimes when I make these videos, all these background noises are happening, and I don't know if you're hearing them or not, but I've actually had about 1 million interruptions trying to broadcast this. And it's just quite funny, between cappuccino machines, cars driving past, doors slamming, phones going off, and, sliding doors opening, all sorts of things. So if you've heard those, I apologize. It's just, life has been a bit tricky, right? Having everyone at home. And also before that, my son was interrupting me about 1 million times today, because my kids have just started online school again after a break. And myself being in Melbourne, Victoria, we are all under a new lockdown for 6 weeks. It's been getting pretty exhaustive, and we're all a bit over it, as the whole world is in general. So that's where I'm at. So anyway, lucky I got this through. So good luck, everyone. Have an awesome week, and I will talk to you real soon again. God bless.